Nyankopon asache da foforo ye beda twede ampo Nyankopon sese wa maye nkwa yentua mo kana so odi ache ye kwa nti wasi de bia fama twede ampo Nyankopon bebia wo bia take a little time and say, God, I thank you for my life. On this note, we want to welcome you officially on another edition of Secret Diaries Live on Liberation TV. And before I continue, let me acknowledge some people that I can do without. The first one goes to whose platform we are using to disseminate or bring to you the Secret Diaries. He's the name Prophet Linford Wilson. He is the founder and prophet of Chosen Race Ministries International. Say the right place is Chosen Race Ministries International. Testimonies upon testimonies. If you are looking for any solution to your life, I think the best place to be is Chosen Race Ministries International. I've been there. I've seen the goodness of God working. Mehu nyame senchani atwena upon Yankopon ye mehu ni nyina bi ewo hono ene obekọ miamia bebre na wo de wo ha obekọ hon so obebe fie no na unyanya wo solution, but I have seen it. I can attest to that. And so the best place to be in this end time is Chosen Race Ministry International. Papa Prophet Linford Wilson and you may also our studio have here never between common afi media sida any kabia and anchia kese e man nana atiman abiam ampoma dan so ono nadwumopo ene trimo papa ana trimo papa pa wo maye we create sa abiam productions here and omo boy amaye de Chosen Secret Diaries ebrewo intino yedi chia kese ebema nana atiman abiam ampoma dan so na make us Abiam Institute of Technology and so asinama yede ene dwumedi ebra na da dwumedi ade bra wo dwumedi no subia no yede ebra ope suapon a yetete mofra emombe pinimpadea. The best place to be is Abiam Institute of Technology. Na mesaka we say ene da sonkokra ene nkomo e ba bedi no it cuts across everybody, whether the youth, adult, married couples, and even the youth, basically, you know, or more common and so. So if you want to be part of the program, you can call the phone lines calling on the screens and then get to talk to the producer. We can bring you on the show here in the studios. Now also we hint us about the Dani Diache since I say hint us we ebiana akobro bi amono so tutu na namoyi hintasem ya de nipa bi enim na se nipa bi enim a mfumso bi emre bi atwem wo ye no ebia na nipa bi so akwakwa esa mfumso ni bi ti na go be hia so obedan de di wodwumedie no so na ye femu futu so we can also learn in order to direct our path in everything that we do. So if today happens to be the first time of being part of the show, this is basically what we do. We reveal to you what has been hidden. We inform you what you have no idea about. And then our focus is more on the youth today because we believe say Ghana be years or my be year and answer my man be year and maybe know the youth basically so in terms of yebedi ya tunedin abortion nyinse yigu a branty a wohweme abayo a wohweme. If you're a young girl, young gentleman watching me, you know this is a matter of concern to the youth today, and so we are going to dive into that very soon. So make sure you don't go anywhere. We're going for a short commercial break. When we come back, I will introduce my guests in the studios and then we begin our interaction. Don't forget, my name is MC Rhymes. Let's go for a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You can also share the video with anybody at all. If you are watching us on Facebook, YouTube, pick the link, drop on any WhatsApp platform and engage people. If this message today wouldn't be of help to you, it will definitely be of help to somebody out there. You know, who being here said, we'll share video, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Liberation TV, so that anytime you can also tap the notification button, so that by anytime be any video you'll be the first to have access to it. We need everyone on board. Like I said, today we're talking about abortion, and I have two great men in the studios with me to talk about abortion. And I have here on my right Prophet Linford Wilson. He is the founder of Chosen Race Ministries International. Prophet, and I give Agasa Obanasia, you will never regret it. I call him the solution house, because when you come to him, any solution you want, with the help of God, the creator of heaven and earth, all your solutions or all your problems will be solved. You receive solution to any problem that you have. He's here in the studios with us, and then he'll be helping us with our discussions today. And I also have here on my left, Counselor Bright, aka Aban, also known as Baka. Is that right? Baka, Counselor Baka. He's a counselor. He talks about relationship, lifestyle, anything that he's more like a psychologist. Let me just put it that way. And so he's also here in the studios with us to talk about the topic abortion. Gentlemen, you're welcome to today's show. And it's an honor to have you here in the studios with us. Don't forget, my name is MC Rhymes, and don't forget to also share the link, get somebody on board. Let's watch this together. Okay, so I'm going to start with Counselor Bright or Counselor Baka. Counselor, when we say abortion, what is abortion? Someone may be asking why abortion. Today, most of the youth who, out of curiosity, want to explore, students on campuses and all that, and so they go into relationships. They are not so much careful with what they do in their relationship. They have unprotected sex, and then it lands in a pregnancy. And then taking responsibility of this pregnancy becomes a problem. And so some of them even have to run out of school, go get some jobs doing and all that. Some may also have no option than to go in for abortion. Abortion Oh, over to me they are front because of the listeners and viewers we have. So they will be having so we'll do more of the English and a little of the G.
I would say abortion is the termination of a baby.
Okay. Termination of a baby. Termination of a baby. Now, how is it done? Most of the time on television, I don't always want us to talk about how it is done, because for all you know, somebody's trying to jot something down and then try to go, but please, whatever we are discussing here is to help you not to go into it. We are trying to inform you. Whatever we discuss here on the show, we are trying to inform you so that you wouldn't land yourself in trouble. So what he's going to say is not a point for you to practice. Are you getting me? Okay, so how is abortion done?
Okay, it's done through two means. The first one is through cesarean.
Okay.
And the second one by taking intake of pills.
Intake of pills.
Some people too take some concussions.
Concussions.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but the popularly known means is first of all cesarean and second.
So we have deliberate abortion from the submission you are giving us. Your abortion so you go to the hospital and then seek for abortion. I believe sometimes there are certain complications that some pregnant women may have just from the onset of the pregnancy. And so there will be the need to go in for the cesarean you're talking about, the abortion you're talking about. Now, I want our focus to be more on the youth today. What would probably make a man tell a woman to go for an abortion? Or what will probably make a woman go for an abortion?
There are so many reasons why a man or a woman would like to go for abortion. Let's say people who are dating, they are not married. And child,
Counselor, that's your camera, so yes, so look into that.
Maybe the lady is pregnant. Mm-hmm. And because of maybe the kind of churches they are coming from or the background they are having, so they wouldn't like to disgrace themselves. Okay. So they would try to abort the baby. Maybe also sometimes maybe the work the guy is doing is not good, so he's not ready to take care of a child, so he would like to abort a baby. Or maybe let's say a guy will see the lady, oh, I love you, I'll marry you, you are my everything.
Everything, yeah.
But when the pregnancy comes, you see that the guy is running
away from it.
So the lady will feel like, oh, no, I cannot bring a child to the world.
Exactly.
So there are so many
of them. Let me engage Prophet this time. You mentioned something concerning church. There are some churches who have doctrines. And so being a member of that church, you need to abide or go by the various doctrines that are being practiced by the church. Some of these doctrines we all know is that as a young girl or a young man who is preparing for marriage, you need not to have sex or talk alone, being pregnant. It's more like a disgrace and dishonor to God according to what they believe in. Now, Prophet, let me come to you quickly. What do you think about some churches who come up with principles, doctrines of men and women who are, or young couple or about to get married, or young ones who are about to get married, not to engage in sexual activity? Because I feel that they ignorantly, they ignore these principles, have sex, pregnancy comes in, and out of fear and panic and disgrace that may come from the church and its members, so they will opt in for an abortion. What do you have to say concerning churches' doctrines on some of these things? Sometimes through counseling. I know of a story where a couple were going in for counseling, and then the man was coming from far away Tema, and the girl was staying in Kaswa. So they were going for counseling sections. And so the man comes far away from Tema and then meets the girl in Kaswa. Then they go to church for the counseling. And then along the line, pregnancy came in. And then they have already set a date for their marriage. And now the church tells them, because there's pregnancy, your marriage can't happen. And so that person will have no option. It's two things: either to ignore this woman and then ignore the marriage automatically, or going for an abortion and then continue with the marriage ceremony. And so that's why I'm coming to you as a prophet of God. What would you say concerning that?
So what is the question?
The question is, what do you see, or what is your take on doctrines of churches about preparations towards marriage? You don't need to have sex. Even when you are dating, you are not supposed to have sex. You are not supposed to see each other. Because I believe that when these things happen, sometimes pregnancy sets in and then they opt in for an abortion. So what is your take on church doctrines? That do you still accept such doctrines? Is it supposed to be like that? Or do you think something should be done about it? I don't know if you are okay with the question.
Okay. When it comes to church doctrines, okay, concern what we are talking about, life, the greatest part of life is discipline. And it's not about the speed, it's about the control. Okay. The man that is connected to the woman. Yeah. What comes within him that he can't have patience to follow procedures. Exactly. Then that means that there's what we call emotional immaturity. Okay. Because to do things properly, let's put church aside. Okay. To do things properly, you need to carry out the principles. Okay. Govern to sanity. Okay. So if the principles govern to sanity is saying that right now you are just getting to the time of your marriage.
So why don't you relax? Wait.
So the principle and the sanity must be, connect.
Discipline.
Yeah, you need to be disciplined. So if that can happen, then that people, those two couples are mature. So emotional immaturity comes in. Okay. To check both of them. So one must be emotionally mature to keep principles.
Wow. So from what the prophet is saying, he has totally no problem with church doctrines. You are there because you have decided to accept the doctrine of the church. And so that's why you are there. Now let's take church out of this. You need to be emotionally matured. Now you've dated for so long. You have less than 6 months or even within 6 months to get married. So why can't you wait until you get married and then do whatever sex you want to do, and then your wife conceiving, and then everybody be happy about it? Because I know one of the things that people expect happening after marriage is for you to conceive. So it wouldn't be like before marriage, pregnancy comes in and then you have to opt in for an abortion. So I think God bless you so much, Prophet, for that subject, because these are some thoughts that are running through the minds of people, and they intend blaming the church for a lot of doctrines and all that, but it has nothing to do with the doctrine. It all depends on how disciplined you are. Now, Councillor Baka, let's now come to the dangers associated with abortion. I know abortion sometimes is 50, not even sometimes, most of the time it's 50-50. You may live, you may die. And sometimes it's heartbreaking to have heard that a young girl tried an abortion and then died out of that. I can just imagine where that person is going. We always say that person is going straight into hellfire, but we are not in the right position to judge. We leave judgment for God. But I think that is double sin, committing suicide. That is suicide on its own. Abortion comes in like a suicide. You are killing yourself, because you know very well that what you are doing may end your life completely, yet you decide to go in for it. Now let's look at the dangers associated with abortion.
Abortion is very, very, very dangerous. If you go to the churches these days, you see that there are many women who are praying and jumping up and down. God, give me a baby.
Exactly.
God, give me a baby. And if you counsel them, you realize that some of these ladies have undergone abortion before. And sometimes, because of the method that they use, it's able to affect their womb. You get it? So when they are now ready for children, you see that the child is
not coming.
So abortion can cause serious barrenness.
Wow.
And I've always been saying abortion is also murder.
Exactly. Now I was coming to Prophet to throw more light on that.
That is it. That is because God was in the scripture. God was telling Jeremiah that before he even became, he was a pot of blood. He knew him. Wow. So if you terminate an unborn child, it's murder.
It's murder on its own.
And sometimes, if you come to the relationship side, some of the women have problems with the men, because when they are able to gather that confidence to terminate the child, the guys are afraid of them.
Okay.
I remember I had a client who was going out with a lady, and unfortunately, there was pregnancy. So they were deliberating about how to go about things, and the guy told the lady that he should wait. When she gives birth, they will carry on with their marriage and everything. The lady felt like, this thing I've seen some before. Later, I gave birth, the guy didn't marry me. That's why I'm having one child. No. And by the time the guy realized, the lady had gone to terminate the child. So the guy became afraid. You are able to kill any human being, and then you can kill me. And that was the end of the marriage.
Wow.
You understand? So if a lady is able to get that confidence, it can affect the
It's serious. It's serious.
You understand?
Yeah.
That is it.
Wow.
So abortion is very, very dangerous.
Let me come to you quickly. There are some women also who have the perception and the conception that the best way to capture a man is to be pregnant for him. Seriously. I know a couple of women who are like, they will give such advices. I know counselor might have heard a couple of these things happening. That only about one that's all now for a child. Woman. And then these things happen and the men are not ready. So they will tell you, either be and also compare Bema for not finding anything. What is your take on that? Do you think it's the best decision to be taken by women or not?
I'm not trying to say women are not good, but women have to give pressure too much. The pressure from some women are very, serious. Yeah. But to both, both. As a woman, the first place you need to look into a man is where is he going?
Okay. His vision.
Has he realized his vision? And do you even know his vision? Now, if the man even that has not realized his vision, how do you force the man to lie with you? And how do you expect the man to take care of the child?
Yeah, responsibility.
Maturity calls for responsibility. The person you are working with, does he have vision? If the man has not vision, you don't force yourself on the person.
Yeah.
So if the child comes, how can the child be taken care of?
Exactly.
So both sides should identify themselves and know where they are going first.
Yeah.
Because you can't bring a child to this world and the child is having it has no love. Number two, you can't take care of the child.
Yeah.
No. So to cut abortion down, one must have a vision.
Wow.
Because it's good to have children. It's nice to have children, but if you don't have a vision, please don't try to even create one for yourself. Otherwise, there will be going to be a frustration. There's going to be pressure, and that is when two couples fight together.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Interesting. God bless you, Prophet. Prophet was trying to talk about how to control abortion or take abortion out of the scene altogether. But before we come to the solutions or the best way to handle abortion, don't forget we are still live on Liberation TV. If you've just joined us, please tap the notification button, subscribe. We need you, we need your support. And then you can also drop your comments too as well. At the right time, we'll be able to reply them. If you also need to talk to Prophet after the show, when we are done, I will let him mention his numbers so that you can call him, message him for anything at all. And if you also want to join us on the show and then share with us anything that you think will be of good use to the general public, don't hesitate to do so. We'll make room for that so that you can join us as well. Now, before we come back to controlling abortion or whatever it is, now, we mostly attribute abortion to the young men who are now going into relationship and all that. What about married men and women who are legally married but yet going for abortion? Counselor?
There are cases even worse. There are cases even worse. It happens, you know.
Yeah.
I had a client, okay, and when they got married, fortunately for them, they got pregnant.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, first pregnancy, the lady couldn't deliver.
Okay.
So she went through cesarean.
Okay.
That's how
What
she
they normally
said,
call
that is
operation, yeah.
that is it. And unfortunately, just 2 months, the lady got pregnant.
Pregnant again?
Wow.
Wow.
You are
Serious.
Yes, serious situations like that. So the doctors give them options that this one, you know, your wounds are
Yeah, not yet.
so
Yeah.
it's very, very dangerous, so it can cost your life. So maybe the best thing you can do is to terminate the child. But these are people who are coming from a very, very strong
Christian background.
And you know, this client is somebody that I knew who was strongly against abortion. So I always say that some of the things that you preach and you believe in, sometimes life can test you.
Test yourself.
On
It's
the
true.
message that
It's
you
true.
preach. And
It's
this
true.
guy found himself in that same
position.
situation. But he just put his faith in the Lord and said, no. My wife is not going to die, and we are not going to take the baby. You have the baby.
Wow.
And by the grace of God, even though the second one they went through operation, they had a child.
Hallelujah.
And they are okay.
Wow.
So they came to me and I advised them, you know, family planner, I advised them. And the advice I give to them, okay, as for that one,
Yes.
and you know, it's helping them now.
We'll come back to that.
When they see you, one on one.
It's helping them.
Interesting. This is serious actually. So sometimes there are certain things you frown on, yet God will try to test you. I think I've also had a similar issue like that, and then it was actually a man of God who found himself in that same position. And then, you know, sometimes the physical realms and the spiritual realms, they don't meet. There are things of the physical aspect that need to be dealt physically. Others too, spiritually, we live for the spiritual side. And so, just remind you that if you have any challenges spiritually, the Bible says that for we don't wrestle against flesh, but against principalities. So, some way, somehow, the devil came to destroy. So, some way, somehow, we would have problems here and there. And so the best place to be is Chosen Race Ministry International, founded by the prophet Linford Wilson. And so anything at all, anything. Prayer works. He believes in prayer. He believes in prophetic ministry. Sometimes you need to know what is ahead of you and know how to plan, how to order your steps so that the devil wouldn't get you. And so, like I said, you mention his number right after the program. Pick the numbers, talk to him, and he'll be ready to help you out. And then counselor will also put his numbers on air so that if you have anything concerning marriage, relationship, he can also give you that counseling too as well. So finally, because of time, let's take how to. Prophet mentioned vision. If you're a woman watching, go for a man who has vision and is working towards the vision. Because I know men who will lure you with their vision, yet how to accomplish the vision becomes a problem. Because there are a lot of women who enter the relationship or marriage due to the vision they had, but they didn't see the step that the man was making towards it. If a man tells you he's going to build 10 houses, by now you'll be able to build a single room. The vision is to build houses. So if the man is still renting, then there's a question mark somewhere. It's just a scenario. I'm not saying don't go for a man who is renting, please. But at least you should see a man who is taking a step towards his vision and mission in life. So that's the first one that I took from there. And then Counselor also mentioned that we should go for family planning and other one or two things that he couldn't mention. And so we'll take advantage of that and ask him if he would only want to share with us. We want to know the advice he gave to the couple so we can also take it from there. So, Counselor, let me come to you first. How do we handle or manage abortion?
All right. Sometimes it depends. There are herbal medicines.
Okay.
Proposals.
Okay.
The woman choose proposals
to clear the pregnancy.
Prevents pregnancy.
Oh, okay. So preventing the pregnancy itself. When you don't wait for the pregnancy to come before you terminate it. Yes, that is very wrong. Wow. So purpose seed, interesting.
And also the man when you
prophet wants to, because where it's getting, you need to get your pen and paper and write something down. Please, he's not giving us the remedy for abortion. No, he's trying to tell us how to control birth, controlling birth, because I think that one is very necessary. Because we all know what is happening today, the kind of economy we have, the hardship here and there. So sometimes it's very good to control birth. Even China today, they are learning to control birth. Though they are the most populated country in the world, they are trying to control birth. And so that is the Prophet has a question. If you also have your question, you can drop them on the comments bar or section, and then later on we'll reply them. Prophet.
Counselor. Where you're heading to is very interesting. I'm coming in to assist you and to ask you questions.
Wow.
The whole thing about sex is about the mind. Okay. So I would like the viewers, to have that kind of mind information.
Okay.
On how they can work on their brains.
Okay.
Because, for example, you are with a lady in the room, okay? And you don't plan of having a child.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
You need to know what to do. Counselor, you shouldn't even go too far even in talking about anything.
Sure. I get you. I get what you're talking about. Okay. So he's talking about the onset. You shouldn't even make it happen.
That's right.
Those who are not married.
That's right.
My answer was for those who are married.
Okay. Wow. For them, they should call you.
That is
wow.
That is it.
Wow.
That is it.
Wow. I think that is interesting.
So it's good you have cleared that
one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So Prophet is saying that if you're a gentleman and you're watching us, I believe as a young boy, today our focus is more on the youth. As youth, we are ambitious, we have various plans, we have visions, we have what we have in mind doing. Some of us are still schooling, others are still upgrading ourselves to get to the highest level of education that you could ever think of. And so if you're in a room with a woman, learn to control your sexual desires. It starts from the mind. Learn to control yourself. If you know you are not too strong in handling sexual desires, don't even find yourself with them in close areas. Are you getting me? And then what counselor is talking about is mostly the married couples who are listening to us, because I know they go in for the family planning and all that. So we have the natural remedies for controlling birth too as well. So that one will make it confidential. And so after we are done with the show, you put it, because you have to pay for this. Oh yes, you have to pay for this, because you wouldn't get this anyway. I believe when you go to the hospital for this family planning, you are being charged for it. So this is a confidential message. I wouldn't want to just put this on air free of charge. You need to see the counselor for more details or rapport and all that. Now, we are almost running out of time. I will take your final words one after the other, and then we take it from. So let me start from Prof. Prof, your final words.
Yeah, my final words is that whatever thing that God brought into existence is good. Sex is very good.
Yeah.
Having children is very good.
Yeah.
But before you can get into that atmosphere, you need to have a vision.
Okay.
Okay. The vision gives you confidence that now you are capable of having a lady to take care of the lady.
Yeah.
Okay. And the vision also gives you confidence to have children.
Mm-hmm.
And as the vision gives you all those confidence, it will not come into your mind that you need to think about abortion.
Okay.
And there are more. One thing, I was under Daddy's teaching, I think 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago. He was saying that drinking water is more important than sex.
Okay.
Eating is more important than sex. Reading your books is more important than sex. And he said sex is just 1%. He said something like that. So you building up yourself is more important. If you put yourself much into sex, you can't be productive. Frankly speaking, this is an exercise that they want to do the whole 24 hours. Is like you are not
exactly.
You are exhausted. You can't do
more than that.
You can't do. That's right. So I want each and everybody to know that making yourself very, very productive and building up yourself is more important than this thing called sex. Because if you don't take time, sex comes in the period of when you are matured. That's why I was saying that maturity calls for what? Responsibility.
Exactly.
If you are with a woman, are you sure you can take care of that woman? Do you have that kind of energy to take care of that woman? And that energy will step out by your vision. So be a man of vision.
Wow. Be a man of vision. So when Prophet was talking, I took something that reminded me of something that a friend told me. He said, most of our friends in the remote areas, the rural areas, you could imagine, they normally give birth a lot. And then what is the reason? What is the cause? There's no source of entertainment there. Nothing entertains them rather than the sex. It was funny though, but this is serious. Look at the rich men. They don't give birth so much because it's always about their money, their work, their businesses and all that. And so if you have strong desire for sex, I think you need to engage yourself in something, in an exercise, something that will take your attention off. Simply because you are not ready for pregnancy. You are not. If you are not ready for pregnancy, try to put yourself in an exercise, engage yourself in something busy that will take your attention off it. But the married couple, those of us who are married, for us, provided we can take responsibility, anything goes, anytime, any day, any hour, any minute, at any location at all. So the message goes to the youth and the couples as well. So the couples should take DS, the youth should also take DS. Counselor, quickly, let me take your submission and then we'll take your phone numbers and then we end it there.
All right. So to the youth, I would say that, and even the married ones, I would say that abortion is not the best option. You can give up the child for adoption. I repeat, abortion is not the best option.
Wow.
And you can give up the child for abortion.
Adoption.
Adoption,
Yeah.
Thank you. And secondly, I would say 2 wrongs never make a right. This one goes to the youth who are not married. 2 wrongs never make a right. The first wrong is to be indulging in sexual activities while you are not married. And the second wrong is to terminate the child out of fear. Take notice that 2 wrongs never make a right. So if you are not married, simply don't have sex. If you are not married, that is the house, you don't have sex.
Don't have sex.
Wait till you are married.
Chastity.
Then you start having sex.
Wow.
So that when you produce children, you can give birth and take care of it.
Exactly. Wow. All right. So, Counselor, quickly, let our viewers have your contact numbers. They can call you for the remedies you were trying to give us.
Very. As for the single folk there, I have no remedy for them. Except the married folks who get pregnant unexpectedly.
Yes.
Yeah, those who don't want to get pregnant. So my number is 0247 887 837. You can follow me.
The number again. The number
is 0247
0247
887
887
837.
837. And the social media.
You can also follow me on Facebook. The name is Counselor Baka.
Okay.
On Instagram too is also
Counselor Baka. Thank you so much, Prophet. Finally, I want you to also put your number out there. I know, aside what you do in your daily lives as a prophet of God, there are a lot of people out there who are looking for men of God like you to share with you their problems. And we know that believing God, that through God and then through you, they can receive a testimony. Put your number out there for them so that they can call you and contact you, your social media handles.
Okay. My number is 055
055
414 4009 055
055
414
4009 4009. Your social media handles.
With YouTube is Liberation TV.
Liberation TV. So we are watching us live now on Liberation TV. So anytime.
TikTok, Liberation TV.
Liberation TV on TikTok.
Instagram, Liberation TV.
Instagram, Liberation TV.
And that is all.
And that is all. God bless you so much for having you in the studios today. Our counselor said something. Abortion is not an option. Give the child up for adoption. So please, when it happens that pregnancy sets in, always have in mind that somebody has been praying for this for so many years and never got it. So they are always at the orphanages looking for such children to adopt. Give birth. Send that child to the orphanage. I believe there's no need. I think God will even give you the resource. You have no idea what that child will become in the future. You can attest to the fact that most prime ministers, presidents in the world today went through a whole lot of things. You know, the stories surrounding their birth and all that, the circumstances surrounding their birth is very much amazing. Some were adopted. Others, they came, let me use the word, as a mistake. It wasn't planned, but it just happened. So please, always have that in mind anytime pregnancy sets in, and then don't go in for an abortion. We have overstayed our welcome, and this way we want to draw our curtains for today's edition on the topic abortion. Don't forget, you have been live on Liberation TV. Tap the notification button, subscribe, and then get our videos anytime we post them live here on the television. And then don't forget that this show was proudly brought to you by Abiam Institute of Technology. Scholarships are still running, and so make sure you come to Abiam City and Kwa and then get informed and then join us too as well. Most thanks goes to the Almighty God for such a day. Second thanks goes to Prophet Linford Wilson, whose platform we are using to educate you. And so anything concerning your spiritual life, don't hesitate to see the prophet of God. In this end time, he has prepared men of God, prophets of God like Prophet Linford Wilson, who are going to deliver us, take it from that bondage. And so don't waste time at all. Don't wait for the devil to completely damage you. And so he has mentioned his numbers. Anytime, any day, call and get solution to your problems. My name has always been Raymond Ramsey Treaty, and then lest I forget, Reverend Dr. Abiam Mpomadanso, a minister of God who, under his initiative, has helped a lot of people. I'm a testimony to that. A lot of people are testimonies to that. It is his studio. We are broadcasting live. Abiam Productions. Daddy, God bless you wherever you are. We love you so much. Until we meet same time, another day. It's bye for now.